Howdy, just like to comment real quickly on some of the issues that we're having in the context, particularly of our large cities, and with all the news highlighting how stores are closing down and people are leaving the cities, and there's a bifurcation between the wealthy and the poor, with no middle class or a decreased middle class, et cetera, et cetera. There's a podcast or a YouTuber, I guess, that I've watched a few videos of recently. Cash Jordan, I believe, is the handle he goes by. I'll include a link to a couple of the videos in the comment section. But he got me into thinking about some of the issues and how, in general, the left, and by left I mean the far left, and conservatives or the right tend to approach issues related to individuals, community, and public safety. I think there are people in both camps that take it too far with respect to their positions, but particularly, I just want to make a couple of notes about some assumptions that it seems to me each side employs, generally speaking, and why one set of assumptions tends to lead or contribute towards a better community environment than another set of assumptions. For example, the idea that public safety is not an issue when individuals behave civilly and follow the law. Now, there may be instances, situations where people are following the law and get stopped by a cop or get questioned by others with respect to what they're doing. I'm sure, but generally speaking, if you don't violate the law, you don't have to worry about being stopped by a cop. And even in those cases where you are stopped by a cop, how you handle that interaction will go a long way towards how the interaction proceeds and ends. And I'd like to say that there are some, or suggest that there are some philosophical differences in how the left and the right approach these ideas. The left, it seems, focuses on individual rights that the public, through government, must support by forcing people to support behaviors and actions regarding which the individuals have no interest or may even oppose. And here I'm thinking about things like the drug addicts that are in the streets, the tent cities in the streets for the homeless, etc., particularly in the large West Coast cities. On the other hand, the right focuses on individual rights as a matter of autonomy, which a government ought to secure by ensuring a safe public environment and individual responsibility. So, with respect to the left, there often seems to be a framing of do what you want to do because you want to do it. With the right, there is a framing of do what you want to do, but you're responsible for the results of what happens. I'd suggest that the first level of governments by which individual autonomy and responsibility is fostered is a family. Insofar as other families are able to voluntarily assist those in need, the community is strengthened and individuals have an opportunity to succeed and contribute to the community. Most of us have probably experienced hard times. Most of us have probably also recognized when we have benefited from the assistance of others outside of our immediate family, perhaps even outside of our extended family, and when we have had opportunities perhaps to help others through whom we have no direct obligation, but we've provided assistance, or assistance has been provided to us, which has enabled us to accomplish things that we otherwise either wouldn't have or would have taken much longer to accomplish. Insofar as the government seeks to define what individual success and opportunity ought to look like and forces others to contribute to efforts to make it so, the community is weakened and individuals suffer. The degree to which individuals, for example, want to do drugs, even illegal drugs, is ultimately a personal choice. But it doesn't seem to me reasonable to suggest that those personal choices should be forced onto the community at large and the public at large, left to pay the price for the choices that individuals have made. In other words, if I fail to follow public policy, then I'm subject to the intercession of the public in addressing my situation. Any government which fails to provide a safe public space by holding its individuals accountable for public actions is a government which has failed the public and the individuals. So while I know that there's a lot of hot topic issues tied to all of this with respect to the ideas of mental health, of historic practices in the prosecution of crime, current practices in the prosecution of crime, et cetera, there's got to be a rebalancing of a recognition, particularly in these large cities, of the responsibility of individuals to the public, not just the public to individuals, of responsibility of individuals to recognize that certain behaviors are likely to result in certain outcomes, and it's not anybody else's responsibility to protect you or clean up the mess if you make a decision that results in a bad outcome. And the degree to which we are allowing things to happen and not holding people accountable for the decisions they make is the degree to which we see our communities and our cities falling apart. So I just want to suggest that there are some kind of basic issues in how these issues or these situations are being approached that can perhaps not only account for the difference we see in typically liberally run cities and more conservative run cities, but also in how to address the situations that these cities are facing. And so, anyway, just like to know what your thoughts are on that. Thank you much. Bye bye. Thank you very much for your time. I've got a couple other videos listed here if you'd like to take a look at those. And as I'd like to discuss issues related to politics, religion, society, and how in the world we're supposed to understand ourselves and life in the world. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bye bye.